What's going on, everybody? It's Elliot Scott from ElliotScottDating.com, and today our video topic is going to be why do men pull away / lose interest after sex. Okay, I know you felt it before. I happen to be me, or I've been on both sides of it actually, unfortunately. I know it happened to you. I know you knew a guy at one time where he was very, very, very attached to you, giving you everything you want, telling you everything you want to hear, spending probably all that time, that money, that energy on you, getting your hopes up. Then, of course, out of nowhere, he just loses interest and he's gone. I'm sure this happened to you, right? I know it pretty much happens to everybody. I actually get a lot of, as a dating coach, I get a lot of emails about this, so that's one of the reasons I'm doing this subject. And to start off, I want to talk about, well, when we're talking about this, I want to go really into depth. So we're going to start from the inside, the male mind, I guess, and work our way out from onto what you can do about it. I mean, right? So to start off, let's talk about the evolutionary side of it and why actually men do it. One of the reasons why men do it. I'm going to give you a lot of reasons why men do it throughout this. But initially, you could blame testosterone, okay? Testosterone is what makes men do 99% of the things they do. Their anger, their impulsiveness, their aggression, their impatience, their drive, their lust, their competitiveness, all that stuff is from testosterone, okay? And back then, it was a man's job, obviously because a woman couldn't do it because a woman doesn't have a penis, and a woman can only get pregnant once every 9 months, and you know, just it was the woman doesn't have testosterone. She's more about, you know, communication, and she's more about commitment and stuff like that. So it was the guy's job to pull away from the mom. That's the first girl he pulls away from. Pull away from the mom, and then he does his own thing. Okay, so he'll pull away. He'll do his own thing and compete amongst other men and try to survive. The whole goal of every organism is to survive and replicate. So you know, men are initially pull away, and modern times, this is what usually happens. I actually have a rubber band or a hair band to demonstrate this. Here you are, okay? Let's say you're this beautiful pole right here, okay? You're stuck in the ground, or you're supposed to be. Now, a man's walking around, he's doing his thing. He sees you, you're looking fine as fuck today. Okay, your hair's going great. You got that fucking new outfit, whatever. The guy sees you, he's interested. He literally is wrapped around your finger. Literally, he is wrapped around your finger, because guys who are lusting or crazy for a woman will end up doing anything for her. Believe me, I've seen guys give up their whole family for women. I've seen it. Women have come to me about it. It's sad, but it's true. So when a man's wrapped around your finger and you guys bang, this is your ugly imitation of banging, whatever this is, bam, bam, bam. After that, he's going to want to pull away. Now, there's two reasons. See all this tension now? Now, there's two reasons why he pull away. One, he's, you know, that's just instinctual. That's just how we are. But I actually want to switch that word and say he retreats, because men usually come back. And the reason men come back is because, like I said before, when, you know, we go out and we do our own thing, we seek satisfaction and approval, and we seek our ego, confidence, self-esteem, all those kind of things through what women feel about us. If we feel like women don't like us, then we feel pretty much like shit about ourselves. That's just how men are. So he's pulling away because instinctually that's what he's supposed to do. Secondly, he wants that, you know, because he pulls away from his mom, he has that freedom. He wants to live that freedom again. Men want to pull away to make sure you're not clingy. You can say it's like a test, but it's not, because men don't do it to test, but it basically is, because if you fail the test, you're out, okay? If you cling on to him, you're done. Men like the illusion of freedom. That's just how we are. But you know, unfortunately, what happens is all this tension. The woman, that it's miscommunication. She doesn't know why he's pulling away, which is, again, it's just freedom. It's instinctual. It's just how men are. But it's retreating. The men usually do come back. But what happens is all this tension and all this force pulling. You know, the women freak out and they just snap back at him and they hit him and they freak him out. It's overwhelming, and then the man's like, "Oh my God, I'm done. I don't want any of this. She's fucking crazy, right? When you're not. I know you're not crazy. I know how it is. I've studied this stuff for a very long time, but it's just miscommunication. Men don't know what women really want, and women don't know why men are doing the things they're doing. Okay, a good relationship would be, you know, just as great communication, but unfortunately that's not what's going on right there. Now, why else are men pulling away? Men, or when you have sex or cuddling or anything like that, you're releasing oxytocin, which I know you all know what that is. That's the cuddling hormone. That's another name for it. The mating, the bonding hormone. And what it literally does is bond you two together. It bonds people together. It makes you want to be with other people. And women after sex, they're skyrockets. It's unbelievable. I think it was like 14 times higher than men's or something like that. This is an old study. Men's testosterone, everything's done, is lower than it used to be. But anyway, and a man's rises too, but not as much. But unfortunately, when a man's rises, it lowers his testosterone, and that happens. A man freaks, and again, he wants to pull away. It stresses him out, and that's literally what the word they used when I was reading this study. It stresses the body. Okay, so again, when a man gets all that out of his system, he'll come back. But the problem is a woman doesn't know what's going on, and she ends up flipping out and coming after him and hitting him from the, behind and freaking him out. Now, this is, we're talking about healthy men, normal men here. We're not talking about the guys who want to hit and quit. There's just some guys that are just like that, okay? There are some guys who have very low ego, very self-esteem, and they are trying to build their satisfaction and see where they stand by seeing if they can actually attract women. Not that they like you, they just want to see if they can get you, so they would hook up with you, and then they'll leave. There are just some guys who are like that, who have no intentions on hooking up. Or, no, that's their only intention, sorry, but on like becoming a relationship and staying around. For those kind of guys, I actually have a article on ElliotScottDating.com on how to tell a guy's true intentions. But if you don't want to read that, then I'm actually going to make a video on it eventually. But if you want to get onto it now, just go to my site and check it out, because I could spend another 20 minutes on that. But so we're not talking about those kind of guys. Those are just the guys who like to pull, who pull away and stay away after sex, because that was their only intention, was to get sex out of pure, selfish satisfaction. But and it sucks that when you have to deal with that, but that's just how it is. Same guys. There's some, I remember there was a girl I dated back in the day where I really liked her. She didn't like me. We were just hooking up, and she told me straight up that that's all we were doing. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Once you get with me, it's gonna be different. Well, it wasn't different. And I want you to know that, if you're hoping the guy would, if you're wanting to stay with the guy to hopefully, be friends with the guy, and hopefully he changes his mind, that's not going to happen. You're in the worst scenario you could possibly be in. Okay, or if you're with the guy who's dating a girl, or who's married or dating another woman, and you think he's going to leave that woman, you're in the worst case scenario. He's not going to, 99% of the time, believe me. And stuff like that. So if you're just hoping a guy will change, or you're hooking up with him hoping he's going to see the other side of you, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. But going back and forth, for the healthy guys, okay, what do? How do I win this guy over? Elliot, you told me why guys pull away, so what do I do to keep him around? There's a good saying I've read a long time ago on this subject, and I think it's the best saying I've ever heard on the subject. And if you go by it, I'm going to give you 2 examples on why it works, my personal experience. It'll save you a lot of time, energy, frustration, and it's really simple. It's just, the phrase is, men lust in the bedroom, but fall in love in the morning. And that's basically what it is. And what that means is, when you're with a guy and you're hooking up, hook up, get in the moment, show him what you got. It doesn't matter if you're good or not, as long as the guy sees that he's satisfying you. It's men are really selfish. Once he sees that you're being satisfied, he's gonna feel good about himself. Fuck all that shit about women being tight, is a fucking tick's asshole and all that shit about her giving a blowjob like a fucking porn star, can suck a golf ball through a fucking hoe. Man, screw all that. Don't worry about all that. Just, if you're satisfied, if you like the guy, act satisfied, okay? Fake it, seriously. Then after that, you want to win him over after his hormones are back and he gets the illusion of freedom and he feels like, the test, like, you're not crowding him. Then he's going to be like, okay, that's cool. Awesome. Let me give you 2 examples of this. One, what not to do. I remember hooking up with a girl back in high school who was very, very clingy. After we hooked up, and it's not even that she was over clingy. It was just the subliminal messages that were being sent to me. Like I'm telling you, I was laying there and she had her hand on my chest. It was cuddling up against me, squeezing me tight, looking up at me with her big old brown eyes. And this girl was awesome, but I could just tell. I don't know what I can't explain it. I don't know what it was, but I could just tell that she was, that I was her happiness. Like I was filling her void. Like she needed to be in a relationship and that she was really clingy. And she's one of those girls who would ask after sex, okay, so what are we? Or so what is this? Are we friends with benefits or are we a couple? I don't want to be, this is awkward. What are I don't want to do this again. Don't ever say any of that stuff. It makes you look insecure. It makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. It makes the guy feel like shit because you regret what's going on. Don't ever say any of that. And that was the girl's problem. That was the kind of girl she was. Okay. Then there was the second girl who I remember I was about 23. And her and I, hooked up. I met her at a mutual friend's party. And we went back to her place about a week later. I got her number. And we went back to her place a week later and we started hooking up. And immediately after, I could tell she knew what she was doing, okay? Not only did she, right after sex, she complimented me. She was like, damn, that was good, XYZ, ABC, whatever she said, okay? Then right after that, she's like, hey, you want to go outside and smoke? I used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. I don't anymore. I was a personal trainer. I stopped all that. And, we would go outside and we would talk. And she didn't throw me any signs of clinginess, any signs of, okay, so what are we? Or we want to talk about this? Or what's our status? I don't want to do it. I felt weird. Is it right if I keep my distance and try to get over you? No, don't say any of that bullshit, okay? And she didn't. We had a deep conversation. You can feel the passion and the attraction between us. And we're just sitting there smoking, chilling. And then after that, we went inside and I saw that she had Mario Karts. And that we went down and we started playing Mario Kart. Now, why did all this work? It's not that you have to have Mario Kart or that you have to give guys compliments and smoke cigarettes and stuff like that. But here's what happened. The compliments made me feel like a man. Like I said earlier, we really, really like to be satisfied and satisfy the woman. We get satisfied by satisfying the woman. If we know we did a good job, we feel great about ourselves. Not only do you want to be around someone who makes you feel good about yourself, but that you did your job. Like as a man, your job is to treat women with respect and to make women feel great and to satisfy them. If they come to you for satisfaction, you better give it to them, okay? And that's what she made me feel like. I felt great about myself. Then the second thing is, she didn't show any clinginess. She was just awesome after. It was just a cool, complete, normal conversation like it never happened, but you can feel the chemistry, feel the passion. She wasn't over clingy. I'm not saying you don't have to hug the guy or cling on to him. Just know the subliminal messages are much stronger than what you think. You only know 5% of what's going on in your brain. The other 95% is subconscious, okay? So watch what you're doing. And I guess she took the smart route and just backed off totally. Just kind of, you still felt it, but she wasn't clingy. And then the third thing was the Mario Kart. Now, this was important to me because we were actually bonding as a pair after sex, okay? This is the part where I say, you fall in love in the morning. It was after the initial thing we started bonding. And it wasn't through being very cuddly and needy and wishy-washy, I love you too kind of stuff, It was a good way to bond. And the reason it really worked on me was when you see couples now, man, tell me if I'm right, man. They're either overly sexual, like they're a couple that's based on sex, or they fight all the fucking time. That's all couples are nowadays. Seriously, that's all they are nowadays, and it's a pain to fucking, like, whenever I get stuff. Now I usually help with single women getting attraction, but when I do get a thing from a woman on helping a couple or helping her out, usually it's the guy's always wanting sex and then backs away. That only comes back when he wants sex, or it's them always fighting, and she wants to know why he's always causing these, arguments, these confrontations. And that's just how couples are nowadays. But her and I were bonding over something that wasn't sexual or wasn't overly touchy and cuddly and flirtatious, and it actually drawn me towards her. I felt very interested in her, and we actually started dating after that for a while. Then of course, we went our separate ways months later, but we ended on a good term. It's not like we went our separate ways because of something bad happened. She was a really good communicator. It was just distance. She was a really good communicator, and I knew all this stuff. It just worked out great. So with that being said, ladies, men pull away. It's just a natural thing. The problem is, again, you snap back a little too hard. Let him retreat. The word's retreat, and then he'll rebound and come back because he wants to satisfy you. If you make him fall in love in the morning, you do everything correctly, you don't show that neediness, you don't show that clinginess, you'll be fine. So with that being said, ladies, check out my my blog if you want to, ElliotScottDating.com. Subscribe if you haven't. Like this video. Share it with your friends. I love you all. Peace.